Hey friends, it's the Mrs. Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead. Today I'm going to show you how to make waterproof matches. Now I'm sure you've probably seen this done, I don't know how many times, but I'm going to show you again just to be contradictory. Now what I have here is I have a little candle wax melt set up here that I use for several things, and in here I have a little bit of beeswax. And I have some of my cheese sealing wax. I like the cheese sealing wax because it is a little bit softer, and you want a nice combination of, you want something that your match is going to be able to work through when you strike it. You don't want to use paraffin. Paraffin doesn't work as well. It's hard, it's brittle. This stuff is softer and it will take a beating more if you're out and about. Alright, so when this melts, we'll be back. Well, no, wait a second. I want to show you something else. Y'all know what these are. These are matches that we keep around for emergency sakes or whatever, you know, bedside table drawers or whatever. Now, if these get wet, you would think they were garbage, right? But I learned a long time ago that, now look, this is water. We're going to stir this in there. I'm going to shake it off. Now, I learned years ago when I was a smoker that your hair has oil in it. And if you just rub a wet match, now I don't know how oily my hair is because I just had a shower yesterday, but if you just rub the match through your hair, long hair, short hair, whatever, it will coat that wet match with oil. And don't make a liar out of me, this should strike. I haven't done it in years. Look at that. Now you saw me dip that in water. Anyway, that's one way. And we'll be back when our wax is melted. Alright? Now just in case you thought this stray match was a one-shot deal, here's a fresh book of matches. Alright? I am going to drop it in the water. And I'm going to dunk it down there, make sure it gets soaked right through. Now you watch. That's soaked. So we're just going to do that. I know, because I was a desperate smoker, man. I needed, having a cigarette's one thing, but not being able to light it is just torture when you're a smoker. All right, now I've rubbed the match through my hair. I've taken the dunked book. Look at that. I learned that I don't know how many years ago. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Alright. Sorry, I like sulfur. Okay, our wax is just getting there, but I want a good mix. I like a 50% mix of cheese wax and beeswax. Say that 10 times real fast. Now you could use, I suppose, paraffin, but paraffin's brittle. So, you know, even if you can't find the goat's cheese wax, beeswax is much more malleable as well. Pure beeswax is more malleable than paraffin. So even if you don't have the goat cheese wax, then the goat cheese wax. Even if you don't have the cheese wax, beeswax will do. But I like the combination. All right, we'll be back when this is melted. Alrighty. Now, here we have our just some plain dollar store strike-on box matches, and we're going to give these a roll. I don't know how well you can see that. Give these a roll in our melted wax. You don't want too much wax on these, folks, so when you let it dry, you stand it up for a second so that any excess will run down the shaft, and then you just set it down to cool. You don't want too much wax on your match head. You'll have difficulty striking it. You'll have difficulty breaking through the wax. That's another reason I like cheese wax and beeswax, because it is softer than paraffin wax. And paraffin wax is brittle in the sense that if your matches get banged around, they actually might break the seal on your match head. See how that's just kind of dripping down the shaft there? And then we'll put it down. Now I'm sure there's other ways of doing this, but oops, there's a dog hair on there. We'll just let that run down there. Now let's go back to our very first match, and that's one of the reasons I also like colored wax, a little bit of colored cheese wax. Even if you do take a piece of a candle or a piece of crayon and melt it with your beeswax to give it color. Crayon would be better, a piece of crayon with your beeswax, because that gives you enough color that you can look down and see that you have coated your match. Now let's just drop this in water. Whoops. Let's just drop that in water as if we've fallen in the creek. And we'll dunk that there. Now, you take it out, you dry it off on your shirt or a bit of leaf or something that, you know, say you've fallen in a creek somewhere. And these aren't the best strikers. See, I may have too much wax on there. There we go. Bob's your uncle. You have your waterproof matches. All right? This is the Mrs. Wolfe from our Half Acre Homestead saying, you know, there's a lot of things you don't have to buy that you can make yourself. Have a great day.